Dear students, this is lecture 9. Today we will study modeling with classes. This is the agenda of today's lecture: analyzing and relating associations, association classes, reflexive associations, object diagrams. First we will study analyzing and validating associations. It's very common to make error when creating associations. It's particularly easy to get the multiplicity wrong. Therefore, you should get into the habit of reading every associations in both directions to verify that it makes sense. More importantly, you should always ask yourself whether a less restrictive multiplicity could also make sense in some circumstances. By less restrictive, we mean using many or optional instead of one or some other specific number. In general, you should err on the side of being less restrictive so as to increase the flexibility of the system. For example, restricting the number of people who supervise an employee to one would make it hard to introduce a matrix management system in which a person can have multiple supervisors. On the other hand, using many as opposed to one, when it is not justified, will increase a system complexity and reduce its efficiency. The following point discuss three of the most common patterns of multiplicity, each of which is illustrated in figure 1 and 2 we have discussed so far. First is one to many. A company has many employees, but an employee can work only for one company. You might argue that this is incorrect since moonlight working for several companies. However, company policy might explicitly disallow moonlighting in company management or system. Moonlighting is basically when one person is working for several companies, then it's called moonlighting. Finally, since it's not possible to be an employee unless you work for a company, the multiplicity at the company end is correctly shown to be exactly 1 or optional. Second is many to many. An administrative assistant can work for many managers, and a manager can have many administrative assistants. Of course, a one-to-one relationship would typical between any particular administrative assistant and manager, but in general there are assistants who work for a group of managers and managers who are so senior that they have a group of assistants. It's also the case that some manager might have 0 assistant. An interesting question arises when you consider whether it's possible for an assistant to have perhaps temporarily 0 manager. Third is one-to-one. For each company there is exactly one board of directors. Also, a board of directors is of only one company. A company must always have a board, and a board must be of some company. What would happen if the board member all resigns? We would say that the board exists, but temporarily it has a 0 member. When all the board members resigns, then there will be elections. During the election process, the number of board members are 0. The most common multiplicity pattern is one to many. The next most common is many to many. Together, these two patterns account for the vast majority of associations. One-to-one association is less common. When you see such associations, you should ask yourself if in fact one or both ends should be changed to optional or many. The implications of one-to-one association is that whenever you create an instance of one class, you must simultaneously create an instance of the other class. But when you delete one, you must delete the other. If there is a true one-to-one association, you might also consider whether it's an aggregation. Association classes. In some circumstances, the concerned two associative classes cannot be placed in either one of the class. For example, imagine the associations in the figure 3, as we can see here, in which a student can register in any number of course sections, and a course section can have any number of students. So in which class we should place the grade? If you put the grade in the student class, then the student can have only one grade, not per course section. If you put the grade in the course section class, then the course section could have only one grade, not one per student. The grade is therefore not a property of either class. The solution to this problem is to create an association class to hold the grade. As shown in the left half of the figure 4, an association is connected to its association by a dashed line. We can see here. In this example, a new class is called registration. In general, an association class should be named using a noun that reflects the meaning of the association. The association name is then no longer needed. Aside from being attached to an association class is no different from any other class. In particular, it can have subclasses in any other associations connected to it. Anytime you see a many-to-many association, you should consider whether an association class is needed. The diagram in the left side of the figure 4 can be transformed into the right side of the figure, which use only one-to-many associations. Here we have many-to-many association. We transform this class into the in this diagram association into one-to-many associations. Pay special attention to the position of many multiplicity before and after the transformations. Reflexive associations. Is it possible for association to connect a class to itself? Two examples of this are found in figure 5. A course can require other prerequisite course to be taken first. If the two courses cover nearly the same material, taking one of them may preclude exempt students from taking the other, and vice versa. Such courses are said to be mutually exclusive. The first association is asymmetric since the rules of the classes at each end is clearly different. The second, on the other hand, is symmetric. Length is an instance of associations. In the same way that we say that object is an instance of the class, we can say that the link is an instance of the associations. Each link connects two objects, each instance of the two classes involved in the associations. For example, there will be one link of the passenger to booking associations for every booking, as we can see in these diagrams. Directionality and associations. Associations and links are by default bidirectional. That is, if a driver object is linked to a car object, then the car is implicitly linked to that driver. If you know the car, you can find out the driver, and if you know the driver, you can find out the car. It's possible to limit the navigatability of association link by adding an arrow to one end. For example, figure below show two classes that might exist in a calendar application. The user of this application can associate any number of written notes with any day. An instance of a class day would need to know about the instance of the node associated with it, but it is not expected that if you have a node, there will be any need to determine the day in which it belongs. As we can see here from these diagrams, decision about the directionality should normally be deferred to the later phases of the development when the detailed design is created. Making associations unidirectional can improve efficiency and reduce complexity, but might also limit the flexibility of the systems. Object diagrams. Object diagrams tell us what classes will exist in a given system, but they are quite abstract. An object diagram show sometimes it can be hard to visualize the relationship among the objects that will exist at runtime. An object diagram show an example configuration of object and link that may exist at any particular point during the execution of the program. Objects are shown as a rectangle just like classes. The difference is that the name of the class is underlined and preceded by colon, as we can see here. Colon imply, for example, you can also give a name to each instance before the colon, that is pet, imply, or even omit the class name entirely if it is clear from the context, such as pet. It's important to understand the relationship between the class diagram and object diagram. A class is an abstract representation of all the instances of that class that can never exist. Similarly, association represents all the link between two classes that can ever exist. It should be clear from this that while we put multiplicity symbol on associations, we never put them on link. We say that a given object diagram is generated using a class diagram. This means that it contains instance and link of the class in associations present in the class diagram. As we can see from this diagram, association versus generalizations in the context of object diagram. It's common to make mistake for a beginner to think of generalization as a special associations. This misconception arise because both generalization and associations connect classes together in a class diagram. However, the difference between the two concepts are profound. Association describes the relationship that will exist between instances at runtime. Generalization describes relationship between classes and class diagram. An object diagram can never contain a generalization and can only contain links generated by associations, not the associations themselves. When you show an object diagram generated by associations, you show instances of both classes joined by that associations. On the other hand, when you show object diagram generated by an inheritance hierarchy, you show a single instance of one of its concrete class. The single instance will contain value of the attribute defined in its class as well as those attributes inherited from superclass. In other words, an instance of any class should also be considered as an instance of each of that class superclass. Thanks, it's enough for today.